All right. Happy Friday, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to Office Hours. Kenneth Nesbitt, thanks for hopping on. How you doing?
I'm good. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. There's a little bit of some background noise going on, but we can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm packing right now to head to the airport.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, for everybody that's hopping on live here on Google Meet and those who are on YouTube, welcome. Hope you're having a great Friday. We are staying busy at Creative Cash Partners with a lot of private money requests and also forming more and more options for our borrowers. So in addition to just regular private money in our states, we've got expanding product options for DSCR and for new construction for fix and flips outside of our traditional states. So that is exciting with everything that is happening. And with that, we'll kick Office Hours off and let you guys go ahead and answer questions, talk, whatever it is. I see that we had Mr. Nesbitt here. Thanks for hopping. Where are you headed to the airport? Where are you headed?
Heading to Baltimore. 90th birthday for an aunt on my wife's side.
Oh my goodness, what an occasion. That's something to celebrate for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I was hoping to catch you guys when you were discussing your DSCR loan products. So hopefully you can shed some light on that today.
Yeah, well, there's the replay of that whole thing where we had our special guest speaker, Jada, the expert on DSCR. We had if you look up the YouTube feed on that, and you can message us if you have any questions about where to find that. You can listen to the whole replay there. Yeah, DSCR is a powerful option for those who are able to qualify. The investment property and the rental rate will pay more than the debt that's owed. It's a very powerful option to preserve your liquidity and to not have to pull out conventional mortgages left and right that go against your debt to income. So awesome. I see we've also had a few other people hop on. We have Amy King, Daniel Thoreau, Terry Geyer, Aaron Ford. Thanks so much for hopping on, guys. How's your Friday going?
Hey, good morning, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Oh, good here.
Good morning. Aaron, you driving?
Yeah, I'm driving. Some heavy traffic, so I got to stay focused.
Yeah. I got it. Sounds good. We'll drive safe.
Thank you.
Yep. Terry, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good, Eric. How are you today?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I don't have anything particular. I'm here to just listen in and see what else you got going on, who else has what going on. And I do have one question. Do you do business lending?
I have not ever done a business loan, but I'm connected with several people who do it. They're they're a little bit tricky both for the borrower and the lender because it's not as straightforward as just like a single family home where this is the collateral. If I don't pay it back, then you get the house. What I know about business lending is it's usually a little bit more expensive. It can be 15 to 18% or more especially for like some of these newer businesses to get funding for. The eventual goal is to get an SBA because that'll be a much better rate and everything. So the people that I know and connected with, they give you some funding to get the business and start it off. And then they have to underwrite your whole business and your background and everything to make sure that the SBA is essentially all but approved so that they give you kind of this bridge loan to get things going. And then they know that the SBA is going to refi it out. So that's the little exposure I have to business lending and how I've seen somebody in my network do that.
Yeah, no, great. Because I figured even if you guys didn't, you'd probably have connections in your network. And then I'm focused on the co-living model or the real estate venture, but glamping. I've been looking and actually in conversation with someone who has a little micro RV park. Do you do that kind of lending?
We would have to be very careful about that kind of thing if we were going to do it, because we'd have to just look at the collateral value and the ability to pay it back. We have done some lending on RV parks and resorts, never a micro resort, but there's quite a bit of people in our networks who are doing it. And Justin and I are actually partial owners on several RV parks in several different ways. Like we've talked about Papa Chubby's in the Lake of the Ozarks. That's um, an 8 million park growing to 10 plus million, and we're a minority owner of that directly, not through a fund operation. We're directly on the LLC as partial owners. There's Lake Ridge in Virginia. There's those two where we're
Did you?
minority owners, and then we're part of a fund that
Mhm.
gives us also, partial ownership a little bit less directly through the fund, with many other properties in Florida, Alaska, all over the place for these RV parks.
Got it. So you sound like you're a fan. You're a big supporter of the RV park uh,
Yeah,
movement.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're connected with Patrick and Michelle Basson. We've done quite a bit of stuff with them, looking to do more as well. They are emerging leaders in the industry. They've only been at it for I don't know, 2 years or so, 2.5, 3 years, but they've quickly became a leading voice in the industry, and like the camping world articles, and just like in these bigger discussions, they're a very, very strong voice in the industry. And they great people to be connected with if you're into glamping or RV parks. I'm huge about camping, glamping, outdoors. It's if I wasn't just focused on private money lending, then that's what I would be doing. Also, there's kind of a geographic challenge because I decided to do a business that would give me geographic freedom so that I could live in Brazil with my wife and kids, and here we are in Brazil. Um, but RV is like generally something where you would want to be more in person, especially with those glamping type resorts. It needs a lot more in-person work and help. But before we made the move and before this big lifestyle change, I did the RV park and glamping mastermind with Heather Blankenship. So if you don't know who Heather Blankenship is, she is, yeah, you know Heather Blankenship?
I do. I actually did her, they all have intro courses.
Yep.
So I did her intro course. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Heather Blankenship well. I mean, I talked with her directly a few times on her cell phone and Messenger. I saw her at the community camp. Like the shirt that I'm wearing with is the community camp meetup in Kalispell. Spent quite a bit of time with her, walked through Paces Park, and got to know her family and see her there. Heather is a powerhouse investor. She's fantastic. So she also, do you know how much she's doing for like women in real estate and women's masterminds? Have you seen that?
No, but she is definitely keyed in on the women aspect, and that appealed to me as well because we do business a little differently than men, and sometimes it's just nice to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you follow Heather on social media, she is not hard to find or hard to listen
Yeah, I
to.
do.
She'll
Yeah.
talk about her masterminds all the time. Like the last one, I think they were in Tennessee, and all the ladies went like hiking and went to a waterfall, and then they went line dancing together, and they talked about life and business and everything. Like it just sounds like a really good group to be a part of. I mean, like it's hard to imagine a more specific fit for a woman who wants to be in the glamping or RV business than what Heather Blankenship is doing.
Yeah, well, thank you for that because I am aware of her, took her free class, was, obviously I still follow her, but I never just jump in right away, because I've just started this glamping journey. A year ago, it really appealed to me. And when something sticks with me, I decided to follow up and take a course with Brian Litton. Him and his wife have a glamping and hotel business that they began in Pennsylvania about 5 years ago. So that's who am sort of diving in with right now to learn a little bit more and searching for land. And that's
Mhm.
where I fell into finding this micro owner. She alluded that she had another property, and that was also the catch. Like I wanted to talk to her about what are you
Yep.
doing with this other property? Maybe it's available, connected to the other one, etc. But anyhow, it's always good learning.
Yeah, for sure. Like my dream scenario whenever we move back to the US is to get more involved in the RV parks and glamping. And it's essentially like running a business. If you develop the skills like Justin and I are developing, like, you know, HR, finances, management, all leadership, all that kind of stuff, just like in running Creative Cash Partners, it's like, okay, well, how much do we spend on ads? How much do we spend on marketing? How much do we spend on salesmen? How do we realize who's the right person? How do we manage our employees? How do we manage the books? How do we set milestones? Like all this kind of stuff that we're learning and doing. If you take that skill set and you apply it to a business that with people who have a very, very good business, but they're not business minded, then that's a good recipe for success. Like there's so many mom and pop campground owners with a beautiful campground somewhere that they don't even advertise. Like I've even seen some where they don't have hardly even a website. Like how do people even find them or hear about them? Like they've got this little
Yeah.
post up that says like honor deposit. Like you want to camp here, put $30 into this box and then just come camp here. I'm like, well, you guys have an opportunity to do so much more with this campsite than just like whoever happens to see the sign on the road and turn in and put $30 into a box. Like, you know, there's seriously people that run their campgrounds that way still. And with the right marketing, with the right improvements, with the right, you know, glamping's model, you can do a whole lot more with these spaces.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I hope to find those people. Absolutely. It is a lifestyle. I'd be happy to move into my own campground.
Oh yeah.
I could see myself doing that, at least, you know, in the beginning. I think you just immerse yourself in and learn. And I've actually got a partner. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your backstory there.
Yeah, no problem. Another one you might want to look into is Dan with Tiny Giant Lifestyle on YouTube. He's got a lot of interesting stuff. Not exactly glamping, but homesteading, outdoors, and affordable construction. So if you want to learn
Good.
about like how to make like off-grid septics, off-grid solar systems, and how to like set up a little glamp structure where you're not dependent on the local infrastructure, like he's got a lot of content on that.
Awesome. So you said tiny, giant,
Yeah,
and
Tiny Giant Lifestyle. The guy's name is Dan. I've also got his stuff. I
okay.
took his course. He's a let me see, Tiny Giant Life Biz YouTube. Let me just get the direct YouTube link for you right here. You can see him doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. So here I'm putting the YouTube link in the chat right now.
Awesome. That would be great. And the other couple was Michelle and her partner.
Yeah, Michelle and Patrick Bisson. I'm putting that in the chat as well for all
That would
three.
be great because they're new to me. So
Yeah.
I definitely like to follow a couple solid people. I don't need 20. I just need a couple.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. I think it's a good space. I mean, like for lending and private money, we're always looking at our risks, whether we're lending on an RV park or lending on a single family home. You know, single family home values can go up and down, and so can RV parks, of course. But just one more quick comment on like the security of RV parks. They have historically been pretty tough throughout recessions and tough times. They kind of have an
Mhm.
added in buffer that a lot of other asset classes don't. So what I mean by that is like maybe you've got a luxury condo on the beach in Miami and tough times hit, the value of that condo, you might have paid a lot. You might be in the middle of a fix and flip, hoping to get a certain value based on comps, but then the market gets soft because tough times come, less people have money, they don't want to spend a bunch of money on that condo in Miami. The value goes down and you can lose money pretty bad as a lender or investor or whatever
Yeah.
on that asset class. RV parks, you know, it's possible to lose money or for things to not go well, but in general, if you've done good underwriting, you got a good park. During a downturn, when times get tighter, you typically don't lose business. You either stay the same or actually do better, because there's two different styles of RV parks or glamping grounds, right? There's like the vacation resort style, which is people come for a day or a week. You know, that they bring their RV in, or they stay at a cabin. You know, it's a vacation. Hey, my kids are going to stay here for a few days, for a week, whatever. We're going to play on the beach. We're going to go to the lake. We're going to play in the woods. We're next to the national park. It's like a vacation themed park. Whereas the other style of park is more of like the affordable living, essentially. It's a long-term park. People can pull up in their RV or their fifth wheel. They can pay $400 a month or whatever it is, plus some electricity to basically live in that spot and be long-term as a part of that campground. So either way, like if there's a downturn in the economy for those kind of affordable places for the RV parks, you're going to have more people go there because there's a downturn. People can't afford the nicer homes. So they're like, okay, well, times are a little bit tough. We'll just live in a park for cheaper. And for the vacation ones as well, like there's a whole class of people who, like, call it upper middle class or whatever you will, that are planning on going to Europe for this nice fancy summer vacation. And if there's a strong recession and times get tough, they're not just going to do nothing as a family. They're going to cancel that more expensive Europe vacation and go to the RV park on the lake and spend a week there and have fun with their family there, you know? So like
Yeah.
times get tough, and in general, the RV and glamping space still keeps doing well, whether the economy is great or whether it's terrible. So that's just one other thing that I really like about that space.
Yeah, yeah, I did just see that, and the gal that we're talking to, she hadn't yet figured out what she didn't start it, so it'd really be hard to get financed. Um, but she is there's a couple businesses, like the world's largest data center is slated to go into this tiny, tiny little town in Utah. They only have 140 people there. And 7 miles down the road from this camp will be the largest, I think the largest in the world data center right now is in Mongolia, China. All
Yeah.
right. Like 10,000 square, not 10,000, I forgot. Anyway, theirs will be more than double the size of that. They will then be the largest in the world
Wow.
besides the United States. I happen to live in Virginia. We're the data center capital of the United States. So I'm pretty familiar with that. So she was talking about when these companies like the company that was coming in to switch over the coal to using liquid gas to
Yep.
maybe do self-cooling. They haven't yet decided how they're going to do it, but you know, they have 500. That company itself took a piece of the land and put 500 RV spots on it for their workers.
Yep.
So, yeah, so we were thinking maybe the potential for a couple years, we would be able to ride out the construction of this data center and have it be for the workers primarily,
Yep.
because we could flip it over at any time to make it, a different model.
Yeah, yep, for sure. I mean, Heather has mentioned that in her courses as well. The upside is huge. Like there's also kind of the RV parks that she calls like the man camps, like where there's a new big construction project, so you got a lot of construction workers. So it's called a man camp because there's just basically a bunch of RVs for the construction people to stay there. She's
Yep.
seen people make a lot of money on that, but she also has seen that model go south, and she warns about that in the course, just because like she's seen too many people invest a lot of time and money and infrastructure into a camp where it was like a temporary construction need or whatever, where you have all this need and all this housing and it's going great, and then the project is over, and then the RV park just tanks and suffers. So I personally am not crazy about like a one trick pony. Like if it's all just tied into one project, and then if that project starts ramping down, then there's not really a local town to support it. But if it's pretty much written in stone that project is going to be there, and that they're not going to have enough housing with their immediate surroundings, and that's going to be like a 20-year project, it's very, very low likelihood of going belly up or ramping down, then that would be a reasonable thing to provide a solution for.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it'd be very unique. You'd have to really look at the entire package for sure.
Yeah, because with a town of 140 people, you're not going to get any like people from that
Oh,
town.
no.
Versus if it's even a
There's
slightly
nothing
bigger
going
town.
on.
Yeah, even with a slightly bigger town of like a mid-sized city, then then you will have people that like, oh, their family, their friends are visiting, someone's visiting for a work meeting, and then they
Right.
need a place to stay. Like you can have a cabin or a place for them. So yeah, all that stuff is great to consider. And I hadn't heard about that, the data center in Utah being the biggest in the world. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah, it really is. That's how I just fell into this park, and the girl, she is a native of this area. She had moved away to Dakota, worked in the oil fields, so she's very familiar with the transient housing kind of thing. But she moved back, with her son, and she knows so much. She just knows every single town. She knows the routes, which way the traffic goes, because we looked up stuff too, but she just filled in so many blanks. But anyhow, yeah, it's sort of scary to think about how big it is. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, that's great. I wish you the best as you look for the next glamping park for you to run.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be a sounding board and to offer a little bit of my perspective on it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that was great, Terry. Thanks for adding that. Let's see who else is still on. Who else can I bug here? We've got Amy King and Aaron. I know Aaron was driving. Amy, are you there? How you doing, Amy?
Hey, Eric, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. What's new?
Not a lot. So coincidentally, I guess interestingly, I guess you guys were in my inbox, and as investors, we get inundated with other lenders and things. And I'm like, who are these guys? And then you popped up with these office hours. I'm like, I'll just chime in while I'm sitting at my desk. And then I happened to be on the phone with Jen Shrewsbury, and she's
Yep.
like, you got to call my guy Eric at Creative Cash Partners. And I'm like, well, this must be a sign. So I'm gonna try to get some things under contract and submit a deal and see if maybe we can work together.
Nice. So are you local to Charleston area, West Virginia?
No, she and I have a lot of different connections. I'm actually in North Carolina. I live in Durham and I invest across the state. So Charlotte to Wilson, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah, we should talk more. We do a lot of private money in North Carolina, and we actually just recently changed our rate and program and stuff. We used to have like just one product, which was the no monthly payments, just pay it all back in the end, deferred interest. But it was expensive for us to run that and expensive for the investors because of the accumulating interest. So we've recently shifted to a new product that's basically just standard private money, 12% interest rate, make a monthly payment. It's way more affordable for the people. And we're able to source our capital a bit lower to make it to where we can still survive on it as well and do well on it.
Perfect. And so if I'm understanding right, I looked at your website really quickly. So you're a small private money firm.
Yep.
If I have a scope of work, we run into a challenge where there's some more termite damage. And so now I've got to do more framing than I expected. And I need to shift funds around a little bit on the deal. I'd like to work with a lender who understands, hey, we've got to do the right thing for the house.
Yep.
I can't necessarily go by the line items we originally discussed. So I would be talking to a real person to figure that out.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is a small company. This is Justin and I and Mariel. That's it. Like you
Okay.
call us. Like we've got our work phone that we answer. People text us and call us right on the work line, and when we email, like that's one of the advantages. Like you could probably find a cheaper rate, like a little bit cheaper interest and cheaper points and stuff with hard money than with private money like us, but hard money will give you brain damage. That's kind of our take. I mean, you could get lucky and have a really, really good and simple hard money lender, but a lot of times it's just so much form, so much paperwork. They piecemeal you left and right. You don't really know until the day before closing if they're going to close. And there's just way too many horror stories where they pull out right before closing and they've got a lot of little junk fees left and right. Private money is, in some cases, not even that much more than hard money, but it's like you get the white glove service, right? Like you're directly connected to us. You're not just some file number on an email and then the receptionist answers and has no clue who you are. Like you're working directly with us to solve problems and to get the deals done.
Right. So is the website up to date? You're operating in 4 states?
Yep, we are operating in North Carolina, West Virginia, Ohio, and Georgia. And if you do have a private money need, if you need like private money in a different state, or if you need DSCR or new construction, like what I was talking about with with everyone else on here, you know, we are connected. So if you need a business loan or if you need something else, like we've got those connections. We've got partners for DSCR, and we can offer pretty much all of those products. So whether it's with us directly in our specific private money or another place, we can help you get it figured out.
Okay, I'll present something else to you then offline. I've got a current loan with a hard money and I want to subdivide the lot. And so I've got to finish the project in the front before I can subdivide it because they won't allow us to pull off a piece of the lot. But it's going to be new construction in the back. So I'll talk to you about that and see if you've got recommendations for how to get that funded.
Okay, for
All right.
sure.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Nice to meet you too.
And thanks, Terry, for the conversation because I love RV parks. So that was really interesting about the glamping.
Awesome.
Yep. Well, cool. Thanks, guys. Let me see. I'm going to go into Professor Eric mode from when I used to be teaching classes at the University of Florida. Who have I not bugged yet on here? Kenneth, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, try to put in the chat. Do you guys or do you have anyone in your network that will offer HELOCs on investment property?
Yeah, so I answered that one on the chat down below, but just to give you a little more context for that, typically a HELOC on an investment property where it's like a truly an LOC, a line of credit where you can pull it and take it back and forth, is a very difficult thing, even for like your local credit union or bank to do. Your best shot of getting that would be a local credit union, bank, something along those lines. However, we do have several options with a DSCR that a lot of people do not have. So for example, 99.9% of DSCR lenders are going to say we'll only do DSCR in first position. When you say HELOC, you typically are referring to a second position. You've already got your first position loan, then you need a line of credit. That's the second position loan there. We can do DSCR in second position. It's not going to be a line of credit where you just pull it back and forth and use it whenever you need it. It's just going to be basically another loan that you can get to pull out more equity in the property, but that is an option. However, like I said in the beginning, for that specific niche, like need right there, I would look for a local credit union that you can have a great relationship with, and then whoever is on their business banking side, try to become, really good, get in tight with them and try to get them on your good side so that they would allow you to do a HELOC on a rental instead of your primary. It's a tough thing to do, but with the right relationship, you might be able to pull it off.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. No problem, Kenneth. Yeah, any other questions?
I think I'm good right now. I am going to go back and watch that call you guys had on the DSCR product. I'm trying to educate myself a little bit more that way.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. And any other questions after watching that, feel free to message us or reach out there. I was going to bug Aaron Ford to see if he had any questions, but I think he must have had to hop. So anyways, guys, this has been a really fun office hours. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the conversation. I like to keep it short and sweet. So anybody have any last comments, questions, snide remarks before we call it a weekend? Okay, awesome. Well, if not, then thank you guys so much for joining. I really enjoyed it. Hope you all have a fantastic Friday and a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Eric. Have a great weekend yourself.
Thanks, Eric. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Terry.
Bye, everybody.